So, we move on to the next block of variations. Why do I say block? Because the first theme is a small independent work, which is generally not a product of Schumann's pen. This is just a manifestation of an idea, the death of a hero. Then Schumann creates his Frankenstein, the first variation, awakening the dead hero, the dead body, dead soul. Then he pays tribute to a great soul of Beethoven, as you remember, the Moonlight Sonata, which is combined with the funeral bell in incredible beauty. Crazy beauty, crazy, lively, trembling beauty, burst from a romantic soul and thought. Lost in our present day, by the way. How then we can talk about love? We often are laughing nowadays when we talk about love, about good, about truth, about kind. Because it seems strange to us. It's quite funny because we almost lost all these feelings. Then comes the Paganini variation. The variations are, as it were, separate statements that precede the awakening of the soul, awakening of hero. That is such a picturesque pastiche which was needed to accomplish the first Frankensteinian phase of variation. This was said correctly because after death it was necessary to revive the hero, revive the soul and body of the hero. Schumann, ever the clever one, perfectly solved this problem, correctly set the transmission of electricity through the dead soul and dead body to make it come to life, the idea of Frankenstein. Then Romanticism flourishes, and the author appears in his dreamy theater. And the next four consecutive etudes in our tableau practically do not talk about death. Despite the fact that the topic will be almost unchanged, it will take on creatively a masked form where it references only through ignoring it in the face of life's incredible joy. And thus, these very strongly charged with a physical energy. Where it seems in all subsequent variations we remain focused despite the fact that we will observe the theme of death from the bright vantage point all the time. But it will be in such a form that we remain submerged just below the lines of consciousness, so that even we are allowed glance upon the shadow of the death, we will not be able to allow revisit it. So, with the third variation, as part of the series, Schumann pays homage to humility. His music is intellectual, very thoughtful, subtle, clever, and reflects the wonderful soul. Remaining focused, he does not forget his mission at hand. Etudes, technique. The next etude is all I study chords. But such a description would be a very superficial analysis, as Liszt, Chopin, and Schumann have all attempted similar sketches. But Schumann used this loftiest and highest building material to allow for structural evolution and innovation to grow the transcendental technique into the thematic song. Schumann rises above the basic chordal structure and sings through them. Its variation, he proves, in sounding board of the soul. It is about freeing the soul, and with chords Schumann sings his song, a romance about heroes, like a musketeer. Here I cannot help but recall the heroes who's lived and touched the modern world of the pre-war, a little bit after the war. Our parents also remember it. I want to remind you of a very iconic movie, which I watched only as a museum rarity, but it was one of the last romantic post-war smiles of the romantic European soul. This is a French movie, Fan Fan Tulip, with this beautiful Gérard Philippe, who was the embodiment, the last smile of European romanticism. So it is with this daring, these next four variations, we will always remember Gérard Philippe and Fan Fan Tulip, because this is how musicians should treat it, how they play it, how Gérard Philippe plays this Fan Fan Tulip, wielding a sword And in our hands, all these incredible transcendental difficulties are our swords and weapons. And we must, in the same way, with a smile, gracefully, with roses, elegantly, chivalrously, enjoy these difficulties, showing the beauty of the soul of a chivalrous man and real knight. A man knight. What Schumann does. And then immediately this canon makes sense in the way Schumann intended it to be. And in so doing, we begin to understand what Schumann wanted to say. Just look. That was the theme of death. Further, we live in major. You see, where the face of romantic hero whom Gavrilov introduced to us just appears. And further, with indomitable freedom we must play, rhythmic freedom, freedom of the soul, freedom of expression, each time in a different way, like improvisation. This is a delted musketeer song. Well, now I will play you this canon simply, as we usually do, according to our tradition from beginning to the end. Thank you very much.